still lost. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really care about promise, and we lost. Yeah, it's frustrating. Tired of losing close games. We just need to figure it out and win some games, bottom line.
Yeah, particularly, when Garrett is throwing like that, does that amplify the frustration?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. We feel like every time he goes on the mound, it's a great thing for us. He's such a competitor. Everyone loves him. It's just disappointing that we can't come through from. Yeah, we just got to figure out. Like you said, there's some good at-bats here and there, and then, but we're just not getting the job done. It's not for lack of effort or, work ethic, game planning. It's just, we're not doing it. We suck right now. We got to just be better.
Oh, Rob, we feel your pain, my brother. NESN Nation, assemble as Boston has entered the chat. Begins. Travis Thomas here with my main man, George Balekji. Is your fantasy draft still happening? Is that
still going on? We only
2 days.
We only got through 2.5 rounds yesterday. It's absolutely terrible. So one guy auto-picked. 4 hours per pick, someone auto-picked. There will be retributions. Accountability will be held. I will not stand for this anymore.
This is why you love this show, I'm sure. We'll discuss yet another close one-run loss for the Red Sox, George. You hear the frustration there from our guy, Rob Refsnyder. I mean, it just continues. And we have so much more in this show, right?
Yeah, we'll be talking Celtics futures for this offseason. Drew Holiday on the trade block. Jaylen Brown thinking about a surgery. What do the timelines mean for them?
Yeah.
And we also have Alanna Rizzo stopping by the show to talk Red Sox with us as well.
Remember, you can catch us on NESN at 8 a.m. every day and NESN Nation at 9 a.m. daily. Here's the other important part. We are interactive. We always ask for you to weigh in, get involved with George and I. We love hearing ourselves talk, but we love hearing from you too. So email us, thechat@nesn.com. Tweet at us using the hashtag NESNChat and call us 617-790-0928. We play your voicemails. Yesterday, someone got at us. We played it. We didn't care. We played it, and, well, we got back at him, but whatever.
I might have made some enemies.
Yeah, maybe, but, hey, we interact with you. That's important, so get involved with us. Let's start now with what's trending. Top 3 stories in sports right now, and we start with the Red Sox. 3-2 loss here. They open up the series against the Brewers. It just felt like an emotional roller coaster at the end of this game for me, George. It's looked a lot like every other Red Sox game that Crochet pitches where he's dealing and you just don't get the run support that you need. But at the end of that game, with Rafi Devers coming up to win the game in my mind at that time.
Smartest thing in the world.
I know.
Him.
Well, I wasn't thinking that at the time.
Yes.
But as he's coming up to the plate, I'm like, yes. This team needs this. They'll get this win. It's great for Rafi, who's been hot lately. They'll break through. This will help carry over to stop losing these close one-run games, right? Sure enough, they walk Rafi. I'm like, oh, my God. Here's where the emotional roller coaster started. I go, okay, who's up? Wong, I go, oh, no. Then he gets up to the plate, and I'm like, come on, I'm trying to will him to win this game. All for naught, of course. Emotional roller coaster as we all held the L yet again in a close game, my friend.
Yeah, and it's their last 4 losses, only scoring 2 runs at most. And you mentioned what Garrett Crochet did, not just a gem, but 11 Ks, goes the distance, is absolutely that ace the team needs to be. But end of the day, pitching needs run support. Even if they were winning these games 2-1 every time Garrett Crochet's on the bump, pitching needs run support, and that would be a glaring error. This is a team right now that is decimated by injuries because everything about them was, can they be relatively healthy, and that will lead to success.
Right.
Alex Bregman's going to be out for a substantial amount of time with that strained quad, which is serious. Tristan Casas is done for who knows how long, obviously by his knee exploding on him.
Yeah.
You have Jaron Duran, you have Rafael Devers, and then you got everyone else. Christian Campbell's hit that rookie wall. Marcelo Myers basically just getting his feet wet at the major league level as well. This Red Sox team is not good enough just to have 2 good hitters. And when they lose an Alex Bregman, who is their 3 spot in this lineup, who is their 3 hitter, but is that professional hitter. Look, Rafi's one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He's a better hitter than Alex Bregman, but Bregman's the most important hitter to this lineup. When those guys go down, we see the trickle effect throughout this lineup, and then it just gets all put into one moment.
Yes.
Rafi getting walked, Connor Wong coming up, a guy that has a sub 400 OPS, and right now is just not hitting like a major leaguer. He's a good defensive catcher. He's smart. He knows how to call games. But right now, his bat's not working. Right now, Trevor Story's bat isn't working. Things need to change for the Red Sox. This lineup needs to wake up. It has to be one piece at a time, and they're struggling mightily right now. They should not be losing.
No.
And they should not be losing 2-4 to the Orioles. They should not be losing to the Milwaukee Brewers, but that's
right.
the state they're in right now.
Man, well said. We'll talk more Sox with Alanna Rizzo coming up, but I want to pivot to this because you and I have gone back and forth in this. So USA flag football, the actual USA flag football is upset because, and I told you, George, this was the right thing, the NFL players are going to the 2028 Olympics to play flag football. Meanwhile, how about this guy, Darryl Doucette III, quarterback of the USA national flag football team, says flag football players, quote, deserve their opportunity to play for Team USA. And he's absolutely right. This is why I said George and I have been arguing about this. George, you're all about, I'm going to speak for you here. You're like, I want to see Justin Jefferson and Mahomes and all these guys playing flag football.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, bro, you can watch them on NFL Sundays, Thursdays, Mondays, every day that there's football, every day of the week it feels like. Let the flag guys go to the Olympics and represent our country playing, you know, flag football in our guy, Trevor Sikkema, who's family to the program, had a great idea. He said all these dudes should just play on July 4th for the rights for the Olympics. And I love this flag football team against the NFL flag football team, which doesn't exist, in the Coliseum on July 4th for America. On 2027, winner goes to the Olympics.
I think that's genius.
It's a genius idea, but it should never come to this. I would watch it, but it should never come to this. It should never come to this. Send the flag dudes.
No, because the
What?
NFL wants two things. It's not just winning gold in the Olympics, but the NFL wants flag football to grow. They know the future of the sport is more than just tackle football. And to legitimize the sport of flag football, you need the best football players to be playing it. To showcase for guys, hey, if tackle football is not working out for you, you want to be more than a practice squad guy, or you are a fringe roster dude, but you're a standout D1 player, don't go play. Look, the XFL, UFL, whatever it is now, that's not working.
Yeah.
Those games are finishing 13-12 finals. It's absolutely terrible. They're putting them on a Saturday. That's the death slot. They want flag football to be legit. They know it grows a game. It goes beyond men, too. That's how women can play the game and be highly competitive.
Sure.
You get the NFL players to play it. That legitimizes the sport. And on the Olympic stage, that is what will make it the biggest.
Everything you're saying is logical. I don't think you're necessarily wrong, but it ain't American. You know what American is? No, it's not. This is what happens.
America's capitalism.
Well,
yes.
You send the amateurs first.
Yeah.
They lose. Wait till they lose. First of all, we're head and shoulders above everyone in flag football in the country or in the world, so we should win gold. But let's just say for the sake of argument that they don't. Then you send the pros. That's American. You send those guys first. Oh, they lose? Okay. Tyreek Hill, we need you. That's American, baby.
Man, we're right down the road from Bunker Hill. That was a battle that the U.S. didn't win, but those farmers battled well, and that gave them confidence that they could beat the Brits. That's what this is basically going to be, except there's going to be no confidence from the farmers, a.k.a. the actual flag football players. NFL players are going to beat that arse.
George and I are so tired because, speaking of beating our arse, we were up late watching the Western Conference Finals. Thunder defeat the Timberwolves, George, 128-126. They take a 3-1 series lead. I'm not going to lie, bro. Aside from fight and sleep, this was a great game.
It was.
I really wanted the Timberwolves to win this because I feel like this series is over. I really do. 3-1 lead. The way the Thunder have looked, they did get drubbed in one game. But other than that, they've been in control in this series. I'm kind of bored to death with it.
And you were talking, I mean, after that game 3, you're like, dude, they lost by 40.
Yes.
And I go, I'm not worried about it with the Thunder because these guys are pro basketball players. Like, they could lose by 40 and their confidence doesn't get shook at all.
Right.
But it's what's happening to Anthony Edwards. It's what this Thunder team is doing to him defensively. And Edwards, all the talk wants to be about him being the face of the league. You can't be the face of the league and only take 13 shots at home in a must-win game, game 4 of a playoff series, before it goes back to OKC.
That's right.
SGA dropped 40. Jalen Williams dropped 34. Chet showed up. This Thunder team is showing up, but these playoffs have been nothing short of disappointing in the conference finals. The NBA is taking note as well. And Edwards has to be better. This Thunder team is amazing. The way it was built, how deep they are, everything they do. They shoot the ball handlers, the defense. But this, in a game that was just a 2-point win by the Thunder, by the way. So they needed 74 from Jay Will and from SGA to only win by 2. But Anthony Edwards being held to just 13 shots, that is unacceptable Unacceptable if you want to be one of the faces of the league.
You know what's crazy? Since the Warriors had their dynasty, I mean, in their peak, right? Yeah. I swear, Giannis won a title, and I'm like, hey, maybe the Bucks, the way Giannis is playing.
7 winners, 7 last year's.
The Nuggets, the way Jokic is playing, maybe they're the new. No.
Nope.
Celtics, I thought for sure. No.
Yep.
Now I look, honestly, if the Thunder win it, they might be the team.
They might go back to back.
They might be the team.
But what we just saw happen in Boston, how difficult it is to win one ring.
You're not wrong.
Back to back, the physical tax it has. But what do the Thunder have? A lot of youth.
Sure.
A lot of youth.
No, you're right. Coming up on Boston has entered the chat, and Mike Vrabel, we trust. We'll tell you a move that he made that could change the trajectory of the Patriots. We'll get into that. And remember this, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got everything, baby. We got Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday, right here on Boston has entered the chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on NESN and 9 a.m. on NESN Nation. That's every Monday through Friday. Welcome back into Boston has entered the chat. GB, you and I talk about Mike Vrabel all the time.
Yep.
And there was one move, so I'm reading these reports. Mike Reese first reported this, that Mike Vrabel was aggressively pursuing Thomas Brown, who's a former interim head coach for the Bears, had a bunch of titles at a bunch of places, but that's the biggest one he had. Our own Greg Dudek put together a nice article on NESN.com. Go check it out. Great website, okay? Basically explaining the possible reasons why he thinks Vrabel could have been aggressive trying to get him in here.
Yeah.
He does eventually become the passing game coordinator for the Patriots.
Yeah.
So as you read these articles and you break all this down, because you nerd out for this stuff, my thing is like, he's in the building, I'm happy, let's go, right? Let's get it going, let's see Drake Maye in year 2. But you like the sort of behind the scenes stuff with this. When you read these articles, what do you sort of take away?
Well, with Thomas Brown, what was big with his hires, first off, his big break was becoming an assistant head coach to Sean McVay, and that was multiple seasons, while being a run game coordinator, pass game coordinator with the Rams. Goes from there, becomes the offensive coordinator with the Panthers, gets caught in Frank Reich getting fired. That was just an absolute mess.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense how that entire coaching staff was put together, because even the offensive line coach, when he was in Carolina, his fundamental and his philosophy of the offensive line was different than how Thomas Brown coaches. Was never going to work. Ends up in Chicago, passing game coordinator. Okay, head coach gets fired. Interim head coach gets fired. So he goes from passing game coordinator to offensive coordinator to interim head coach just the last season with the Bears.
Sure.
That's a lot of tangible experience, but I all go back to what he was doing with the Rams. Sean McVay, his coaching tree is legit when it is hit on. Look at Liam Cohn, right? Who's now the head coach of the Jaguars, but look like what he was able to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you want that. You want that West Coast philosophy. You want that link to Sean McVay. And what that West Coast is what Alex Van Pelt was running last season. There's a lot of moving parts with this Patriots coaching staff, how it is put together now. But end of the day, it boils down to this. Josh McDaniels is the best offensive coordinator anyone could have hired this past season. But Thomas Brown, that is something that's valuable because of his experience with the West Coast offense, his connection to Sean McVay, his experience with him. And when you have Drake Maye picking up another system once again, Thomas Brown helps link the lingo, the language, bridge that gap between Josh McDaniels and Drake Maye. And he's also the tight ends coach. Drake Maye loves his tight ends. We saw what he was doing with Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry last season. It just all makes sense. For him to pursue Thomas Brown heavily, that's a really good coach. A guy that's been floated as a future head coaching candidate.
Yes.
When you're building your staff, you want that now. It all makes sense how Vrabel was putting it together. And it goes beyond with Thomas Brown. Doug Marrone, been coaching an offensive line since 1992. Todd Downings, the wide receivers coach, was an OC, quarterback, tight ends coach. Tony Dews, coaching since 1997. Ashton Grant, learned under Alex Van Pelt, learned under Chad O'Shea, who was a really good wide receivers coach. There's experience that he hired within. I mean, a lot of guys on the staff have a connection to Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
But he hired a lot of guys outside of his comfort zone, let's say it. But that's how you build successful businesses, not even coaching staffs. A diversity of voices. With that diversity of experience all around you that think different and take in stuff different. But can you have healthy communication? It's how we put together his front office with Ryan Cowden, John Stryker, and Elliot Wolf now working together. It's how we put together this coaching staff. For him to go after Thomas Brown heavily, that is a great job by Mike Vrabel.
We saw that in Forged by Foxborough. Remember when they took us in the draft room?
Yeah.
And it was very much a collaborative. It was very much a collaborative effort, but Vrabel, you definitely got the feeling like, all right, final word goes through, bro.
Yeah.
But it did feel like everyone was together at that table. You know, I asked you what you took away from these articles, and I'm so glad, and that was a great monologue you gave us, because one of the reasons I asked you what you took away was because I knew it would be completely different than what I took away. What I took away from the articles was Thomas Brown was in the right place at the right time in a lot of places for firings that happened around him.
Yeah.
And it was able, in a way, to propel his career and give him opportunities to grow. And you and I both are in lockstep in thinking that he will be a head coach at some point in this league, right? Josh McDaniels, when you juxtapose that, he was the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time and got fired. You with me?
Yeah.
I think Josh McDaniels and Thomas Brown both can benefit from this situation they're in now, meaning timing is everything. Drake Maye, year 2, young, phenom quarterback, we think phenom quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Help him get there. If he can get there, and you can turn around the Patriots with a Mike Vrabel, with a Drake Maye, you know, whatever, you can make this offense do something, because we've seen it at rock bottom. There's nowhere to go but up, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I think McDaniels and Brown both could have head coaching jobs in the future. And I know, you rolled your eyes.
McDaniels.
Most people roll their eyes at McDaniels, but again,
Thomas Brown one day.
I think both. Now, Brown will get there faster. I won't deny that. I think McDaniels is destined for a head coaching job, and I think it's because of the work he's about to do with Drake Maye, developing him, taking him to the next level. We see him as a rookie. We see signs, we see flashes where it's like, oh, that kid could be special. Make him special, help him get there. McDaniels and Brown can both do that. Brown will be gone, okay? He'll get a job. I think McDaniels, he'll need more time to marinate. But if you can make this offense really good, you can make Drake Maye a Pro Bowler, perennial, I think Josh McDaniels will get another look. He's still young enough. He was really young as a head coach. And listen, maybe you learn from that.
Yeah.
But, like, we've seen guys get retread in this league for less. I mean, my God. If Josh McDaniels, who was young and got fired from a couple places, can turn around the offense in New England from rock bottom, he's going to have to do it for a few years. If he can do that, I think he will get a head coach.
I think there are dumb enough owners out there that would hire Josh McDaniels
Dumb
again.
enough?
He's not a head coach. The personality of it. When he had issues with players, he would send his assistant coaches to handle it.
Right.
Like, you want to be a head coach of a football team. You want to be what Mike Vrabel is.
He can't grow from that, George?
No, I just don't think that is how he is wired when it comes to him mentally. Great offensive coordinator, can control that room, but doesn't have to be the guy that holds other grown men accountable.
Sure.
Mike Vrabel can do that.
Yes.
Certain head coaches can do that. And that is a quality where you could be a great schemer, great play caller, great offensive or defensive coordinator, whatever it may be. End of the day, you have to be a leader and you have to lead a room. You have to lead a franchise.
Yeah.
I don't think Josh McDaniels is capable of that. But to go to your point on Thomas Brown.
So hold on. He's here 10 years as OC?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
No shot,
Yes.
bro. Well, I would bet on that, but we can't pay off 10 years from now.
We'll still be friends.
I'll go. Yeah, but I'll forget. You know how my memory is. All right, go back to Thomas Brown. I don't see this guy being a coordinator here for 10 years. Even a college job would hire Josh McDaniels as a head coach.
Drake Maye will make a big leap this season. He'll make a bigger leap year 3, year 4. I think after year 4, that's when we see Thomas Brown leave to become an offensive coordinator or possibly a head coach from that point on.
All right.
Because I think that's a trajectory when you look at, he's been a running backs coach, tight ends coach, has a connection to the Rams. Again, I got to keep saying that because his connection to Sean McVay is legit. And then having that tight ends passing game coordinator title, first person ever in franchise history for the Patriots to have a PGC title to him. But as he does that growth, let's say an OC opening happens with the Rams, or say something happens with the let's go Minnesota Vikings in this one. He makes that leap, and then 2 years from then becomes a head coach. His trajectory is skyrocketing, and it makes sense. But what's important with Thomas Brown being a tight ends passing game coordinator, with Todd Downings being the wide receiving coach, when you have Tony Dews as your running backs coach, Doug Marrone, former head coach, as your O-line coach, and of course Josh McDaniels, everything he's done, all these guys have worn multiple hats. They know every position. Versatility is what you need today in anything anything you do, you can't just be, I'm a play caller, I'm a tight ends coach, that's all I know. I only know passing game. You need to know the run game,
you gotta know
the passing game, you need to know play calling, you need to know leadership.
Right.
Thomas Brown brings all of this to the table.
I'm a big fan, but I disagree with you with McDaniels. I think even a college team would take a look at him.
Oh, my God.
Maybe. We'll see. Still to come here on Boston has entered the chat. Alanna Rizzo joins us. We're going to talk Red Sox with her as well. And she's on Unobstructed Views tonight, so she'll tell us about that as well. And remember this, save the date, the WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon presented by Arbella Insurance is on August 18th and 19th. Help us strike out cancer by visiting jimmyfund.gives/kcancer to donate today.
Bad day for the Red Sox. We were talking before about the offense, right? Mm-hmm. You got thoughts on what this team's got to do to put it back together?
Well, I think, they was, in spring training, they was talking about the Ted Williams thing, right? We're hitting the ball in the air, but we're not hitting the ball hard, okay? One thing, you got to know the situation. And like Corey's saying, you got to be able to make some kind of adjustment. The adjustment is know the situation, be quick with the bat and hit the ball to the right side. You got to force yourself to do certain things to help the ball club win. You're in a little slump right now, so what you got to do? You got to play small ball. You can't play big ball. Why? Because you don't have big ball hitters.
When they have struggled this year, it's been bad numbers with runners in scoring position. Happen again today.
And you lost the big bat.
And you lost the biggest bat, right? Alex Bregman was probably the most important guy. Devers maybe their best hitter, but Bregman the most important guy.
But they show you what they would do in the situation. They're walking. Right. And then what you have.
The gospel of Jim Rice. May the show say amen. Travis Thomas here with George Balekji. There it was, man. Jim was preaching.
When Jim Rice speaks, you listen. And it makes sense what he's saying there. They've lost a 41-20 guy in Tristan Collins.
Yes.
They've lost Alex Bregman for a substantial amount of time. And this lineup, we just see it where they're trying to play dip and jack baseball like he's pointing out. Man, shorten the swing, get on base. But I know we'll get plenty into it now.
Hey, we've lost a lot of players, but we have gained. Alanna Rizzo of Unobstructed Views. She joins us now. Welcome. Good morning. Thanks for getting up early with us. We know you're working late tonight, Alanna.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's my pleasure to be with you. I was saying earlier before the show started, just a very small part of a really great broadcast team, but happy to be with you guys.
Well, we're happy to have you. Another close one-run loss for the Red Sox. We're all looking for answers here, Alanna, so I'm asking you the question, what in the heck keeps happening to this team to lose these close games in your estimation?
I think what you heard Jim Rice say, I mean, you said that he's the gospel, right? I mean, honestly, you have to figure out a way to change the way that you're going about your business. You have the inconsistency with the offense. You've lost Alex Bregman, as you guys noted. Hopefully it's not for the 58 games that he lost the last time this happened to him on the other side. You obviously have lost Tristan Cassis for the season. So you have guys playing in positions that they're not comfortable with, but they don't have that big bat in the lineup right now to get that big hit in a crucial situation. I think everyone is trying to swing for the fences, trying to hit a 5-run home run, if you will, when all you need to do is play 90 feet, right? Move a guy over, get a bunt down, just go the other way, use the entire field. You have to change the approach because the inconsistencies in the offense, the injuries that have recently plagued this team is forcing them to do something different, but they don't seem willing to change. And the problem is, too, they're just not able to gain any sort of traction. I think, when you're hovering around the 500 mark and you think about where this team would be, guys, without the services of Garrett Crochet, they would be way, way below 500. I mean, you figure when Crochet is on the hill, that's pretty much an automatic W if he gets the run support and if he's allowed to stay in the game long enough before the bullpen blows it. It's a very, very disjointed team that hasn't had a lot of opportunity yet or been able to get a lot of traction. That being said, I love what Ref Snyder said last night. Last night was the first time that I have seen a player get verbally and publicly upset about the way that this team is playing, and maybe that's a spark.
Yeah, what does that do to a clubhouse, Alanna? For Rob Refsnyder to go out and say that, I loved it because I don't think I've ever seen a baseball player be that real. You hear the frustration, the aggravation, the disappointment, and he knows this team, young, banged up, talented, but they can do better. What does that type of thing publicly said, not just to the clubhouse in private, but publicly said to the masses by Rob Refsnyder, what can that do for the rest of the clubhouse?
I think it can catapult the clubhouse in the right direction, right? I also think it matters like who it's coming from. Sometimes guys don't feel like they are the one to be the voice, whether it's because of service time or whether it's because, you know, they don't have the black type on the back of their card or because of their resume may not be up to what some other teammates are. But I love the fact that Rob Refsnyder said, listen, we're playing like garbage. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of losing, and this needs to change. And sometimes when you say it publicly, right, you put it out into the universe, it's out there. And I think Boston fan base, more than some of the other fan bases that I've covered, they have an expectation of accountability. And I don't think that being silent in these moments is what this fan base wants. I mean, you have a very passionate fan base. I mean, you talk about the guy that's on my show that I'm co-hosting with, Jared Carabas. We joke that he's the super fan, but that is an expectation of what this team needs to be doing. And I love the fact that maybe Rob Refsnyder's like, hey, I'm sick of this, and we have to change. And not everybody that makes the massive contracts, right? Maybe Rafael Devers is the face of the franchise. Maybe he's not that rah-rah guy. Alex Bregman, now on the IL. He comes from another team. Maybe he didn't feel like it was his place yet to be that type of leader. So I think it can help. I mean, it certainly can't hurt. They can't really play any worse than they're playing right now.
No, they can't. And that's what I like you point out about Carabas, who, of course, we could catch him with you and Jonathan Papelbon on Unobstructed Views. You guys will be on 7:30 starting tonight. But what I love is that you point out that, yet, the fandom in Boston, the passion is so real. But what stands out to me about Boston as a city is the education and the IQ of the fans. And they can know a team is doing bad, but to your point, they want to see that accountability. Bregman goes down a substantial amount of time. Marcelo Meyer gets a call-up. He can't be a leader. Like, that's asking way too much of a guy that's playing his first licks in Major League Baseball. But the guys that are in the lineup, Jarren Duran, Rafael Devers, Rob Refsnyder might have to play every day because that's a really smart baseball player. Who should be the leader now? That guy that speaks in the clubhouse in private and publicly for the team.
I think Rob Refsnyder's doing it. And the thing is, what's interesting to me, too, is this is a team that has a lot of veteran leadership, but there's also some guys in there that really need to have others, you know, take them under their wing. Again, to your point, Marcelo Meyer can't be that guy. He may have been a leader at every level that he's been so far, but he's literally had, 8 at-bats in the big league level. I mean, his first game didn't play well offensively, but he got a couple of knocks yesterday. But that can't be the guy. I mean, and certainly Alex Bregman could still do it in the clubhouse, in the dugout, but you need a guy that's playing every single day to be that guy. Jarren Duran, to me, is doing it with his play. I mean, this is a guy that is figuring it out offensively and has been really a tremendous bat for the Boston Red Sox. So perhaps that he's doing it with his play. You know, Trevor Story, a veteran player in this game, is having a really down year. And I remember when Trevor was called up with the Colorado Rockies. I was one of his first interviews when he was drafted and called up. You know, he had a lot of expectations. Obviously, Boston had a lot of expectations for him too, right? Signing him to that big deal, but he's not performing. Maybe he doesn't feel that he can speak because of the production on the field. I think, you know, it comes from somebody, I think, that has to play every day. It's very difficult sometimes unless you are a Clayton Kershaw, a Chris Sale, those types, for it to come from a pitcher because they're only out there every 5th day. But I don't know, maybe it is Refsnyder, but I was like, finally, somebody said something that they're sick and tired of the way that they're playing. That was good to see.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing from Rob Refsnyder, I think we're seeing a future manager in the makings, too. I mean, he sees a game like a manager, but that type of leadership, I think that's big.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I agree with you. And, you know, to me, it's the types of, I know he was only here for a short amount of time, but it's those Justin Turner types, right? That you want in your clubhouse, in your dugout, guys that, are smart. You talk about the baseball IQ. That was JT. And I think that's kind of what the Red Sox are missing or are looking for right now.
All right, let's find some silver lining if possible, Alanna. Because, look, at one point, it looked like this Red Sox team was going to compete with the Yankees for the AL East title. They are losing ground 7.5 games back as we speak right now. And you look at the American League. I've been sitting up here at this desk every morning saying the American League's wide open. If the Sox can just figure it out. Like, I know the Yankees are there. I like the Tigers. But I do think it's a wide open American League. Right now, if there is silver lining, is it that We're still in May. I mean, it's still a lot of baseball left, right?
Oh my gosh, it's not time to pack it in yet, guys. I mean, it's May 27th, and honestly, yes, it seems insurmountable right now, but really, you just got to put together 500 ball till you get to the All-Star break, and then you have to, take a breather, get the pieces that you need to complement it. I mean, the Yankees are, 7.5, I believe you said, in terms of the AL East. But listen, we know Tampa's always going to be there. They have a formula. It always works. Boston can still very much be alive in this thing, but they do have to put together some serious winning streaks. And what bothered me the most was not taking advantage of the Baltimore Orioles in that series. Those are the types of games that you absolutely have to win. Now, the Yankees have had some, their schedule's been a little bit easier than the Red Sox at this time. But again, it all evens out, right? I mean, everybody plays everybody in the AL East. So there's still plenty of time. You still have, hopefully Bregman's not out for an extended period of time. You have to figure out the first base situation. Maybe Trevor Story, volunteers and Marcelo Myers gets to play at short every day. I don't know what the situation is, but there's still plenty of time. This is not a lost cause. And I do believe that the Red Sox will go out and get the complimentary. They have to, because this fan base demands it. Get complimentary pieces at the deadline, and they can make They may not win the division, but with so many wild card opportunities, they can get in the postseason.
Thank you. You're just making me feel so much better. I actually want to. I want to piggyback a little bit off of that. In your career, you've covered a lot of sports. Have you ever seen, can you give us an example or multiple, where a team just can't quite get right? They lose close games, they make mistakes. It's like, it just feels bleak. Fans are hitting the panic button, and then boom, all of a sudden they turn it around and here they come. Baseball or otherwise. Can you share some stories?
I think it's just the biggest thing about baseball is that people live and die on it. It's the soundtrack of summer, right? But we have to remember that it's 162 games. I covered the Los Angeles Dodgers for 7 seasons, so I was basically doing about 200 games a year. Now, LA right now, people want to, pets' heads are falling off because they're not running the table with it. It's like they still have almost the identical record over the course of the first 55 games or whatever we've played right now that they've had the last 6 seasons. You just have to remember it's the long game, right? You just have to remember that this is, I know it's cliche, but it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if Boston can really start to put some wins together, and I do believe that they can do that, and maybe Ref Snyder's comments are the catalyst to be able to make that happen, they will be fine. Now, I would like to see some fire in this team. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like they kind of seem flat. They kind of seem like, I don't want to see smiles in the dugout when you're losing. I don't want to see, I want someone to be like upset about this and have that fight. And maybe that come from behind win is exactly what they need. Or perhaps maybe we shouldn't have to come from behind. Let's put a laugher together on the field. Let's run up 10 runs. So you're not praying that the bullpen doesn't blow it. So there's been a lot of situations, guys. I've covered, I'm in my 20-something year of covering sports, and again, you have
that deserves an applause.
I just think that means I'm old. I think that means I'm old. But,
No.
I just think that this is a team. There's no reason to freak out yet and wonder when the Patriots are going to get going. I do think this, though. Now that the Celtics are out of it, and now that the Bruins are out of it, obviously, there's a lot more pressure on the Red Sox to figure it out.
Yes.
A lot more magnifying glass going on because no one's watching these NBA playoffs. They've been a snooze. You mentioned the possibility of Marcelo Meyer going to short, but he's playing third right now. We've seen Christian Campbell take the reps at first. He hasn't played there yet. Maybe tonight's a debut. We don't know. But what have you seen, Christian Campbell, and in this very short, very small sample size, from Marcelo Meyer? Because those are two guys, not just right now, need to do a lot for the Red Sox, but obviously for the future and the long-term plans of this ball club, they mean a lot as well.
What do you think, though, guys? I don't think Marcelo Meyer would be up here if Tristan Casas was healthy, if Alex Bregman was okay, if Trevor Story was playing. I fear a little bit of the rushing of guys. And the reason I say that is because you want you want Marcelo Meyer to be as comfortable as you possibly can be at the big league level. And yes, he's obviously had success every level that he's played, but I don't know that he would be here otherwise if it weren't for injury and those types of things. What you realistically can expect, hopefully, is a guy that's going to grind it out and give you the effort, and hopefully the results will come. It's difficult because these guys only know one speed, but the big leagues is something completely different than AAA. It's a lot of pressure to put on a young kid, and that's why you hope that the rest of the team kind of rallies around him and says, listen, it's the same game in between the lines. Just do what got you here, and you're going to be fine. It's a team that's kind of in flux right now, and hopefully they can figure it out. But I have no doubt that they will figure it out.
Yeah, get Marcelo Meyer comfortable, see what happens. Hey, Alanna, we got about 45 seconds. Quick question I got to ask. We'll be on Unobstructed Views tonight. Back on the show, it's been you, Pap, and Jared Carabas. How is your sanity level dealing with Pap for a full 9-inning baseball game? How are you doing?
So Pap walked in the other day when we were going to do the game last week, and it got rained out, and he looks like he can still play. I mean,
Yes.
I had never met him in person. I've known him for a long time, but I'd never met him in person. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
And he looks like he could still play. He's in great shape. The one that's insane is Carabas. I mean, this guy lives and dies by every single pitch, but it's fun. It's a really fun group of people. It's called an alternative cast, Unobstructed Views, and we're just looking at it from a different angle, right? Yep. Obviously, the guys in the booth and TC and Jemai do a great job doing the actual game, and we're just looking at it from a different perspective. So I'll let you know in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, how my sanity level is after we do another couple of shows.
Good luck out there. Unobstructed Views tonight at 7:30. Check it out. Alanna, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, guys. You take care. Have a great day.
See you, Alanna.
She's fantastic, man. I don't know how she does
We're the
it
cup
with
of
those
coffee
guys.
for her, then Pap is that straight Jack whiskey shot at the end of the night.
With no chaser.
God bless her.
Hey, the Celtics are,
awesome.
Yes, facts. The Celtics are not in the playoffs. George and I are bored AF with the playoffs. We'll explain next on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us. Here we go. Welcome back into Boston Has Entered the Chat. Travis Thomas, George Balekji. We're just talking hoops here. And that Celtics void is real. Honestly, Thunder up 3-1 on the Wolves out west. Okay. Pacers up 2-1 on the Knicks. They play tonight in the East. Okay. I think the Eastern Conference Finals have been more exciting to me.
Yeah, we've seen comebacks by the Pacers, comebacks
and
by
remember the
Knicks.
Halliburton choke thing, all that?
Yeah.
But I hate both teams. So it's like, I can't cheer for the Knicks. I can't cheer for the Pacers.
No.
It's great basketball. I'm a hoops head, so I watch. I love it. But, I miss the Celtics. And then out west, boy, it feels over. I'm sorry. I thought last night was the Wolves' chance to really get back in that series and maybe be like, okay, maybe Anthony Edwards is the face of the NBA. Maybe. Nope. Thunder handled their business. I think that series is as good as over. And the Thunder have just, outside of one game where they got mopped, they have mopped everybody.
Yeah.
I'm bored, bro. I need the Celtics, and I don't have them. And I don't like it.
I think the West has been so disappointing with the Thunder holding the Timberwolves under 90 points,
Yes.
winning by 15 the next game, losing by 40, and this one coming down to the wire. But Anthony Edwards being ineffective. This Pacers one has been good.
It's been
the road
good.
team has won every single game so far this series. I just watch and I'm just disconnected. But what I think is, when you're watching this, what do you think the Celtics would have done? In the Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers, I think that would have been a series that still goes 6 or 7. Because of the Pacers' pace and the questionable health. We now know with the Celtics more about Jaylen Brown dealing with the knee, guys banged up. And, I'm going optimistic of, say, if Celtics won, that means Jason Tatum's healthy,
Sure.
in my opinion, and he was playing. Yeah. I still think that would have went 6 or 7 with how deep this Pacers team is. But, man, that Thunder team in the West, they're legit.
Well, the Thunder deserve, let's table them for a second, because they deserve maybe a whole different conversation that we can get into. But I want to stay with the Pacers-Celtics matchup if Tatum was healthy and the Celtics had beat the Knicks. I would argue the Celtics would match up better against this Pacers team because of everything you said. Pacing,
they can
shooting
defend.
the threes, defend. So I think stylistically, styles make fights. I think stylistically, the Knicks were tough. They were healthy. They out-physicaled the Celtics. Literally, Tatum gets hurt. They battered and bruised them. That was a tough matchup. The Pacers don't necessarily play like that. Mm-hmm. And the mistake that I see the Knicks are making, and maybe it's just because of how good the Pacers are, and Carlisle's a great coach, is the Knicks are kind of playing Pacers-style basketball, where I'm like, you should have taken what you did against the Celtics and brought that into this series as well. It's very effective for them. Sort of that hard-nosed, tough defense. And we'll see. It's 2-1 here. This could go 7. We'll see if the Knicks kind of get back to that. But right now, they're playing Pacers basketball. As far as the Thunder go, bro, honest to God, I said this earlier in the show. I'm starting to look at them a little differently now in the big picture. Because for years, since the Warriors dynasty, every champion, I've made a case I could see a budding dynasty here, including the Celtics, right?
Yes.
And it just hasn't come to fruition. Man, this Thunder team is so young, George, and they are mopping people. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to have that conversation again with myself, except this time I slept on this team. I thought Jokic and the Nuggets, when they won the title, hey, they may be here to stay. This could be a dynasty. I thought Tatum and Brown finally getting over the hump, getting their NBA title. Hey, this could be a dynasty. Mm-hmm. I have bet against, spoke out against. I've been against the Thunder from day one. I'm just like, they're too young. I like SGA, but I don't know if he's got that killer. I don't know if he's a dog. You look up, they're going to be the champs. And then what? I mean, all of us, it almost feels like they snuck up on everyone, even though they were the youngest 1 seed of all time last season. Like, this team's been really good for a minute now. Yeah. But it still feels like they're sneaking up on us.
And it is also a team that, look across the landscape of the NBA, who else is going to challenge them? The Cavaliers are banged up every time they get to the playoffs.
That's right.
The Celtics will be without Jason Tatum. The Knicks, if they get eliminated, I think this was the worst thing to happen to the Knicks, this type of run. Because they're going to run back Tibbs, and they're going to run it back with Cat.
Right.
In reality, that team needs to fire Tom Thibodeau, hire Mike Malone, flip Cat for a Paolo Banchero or a Giannis Antetokounmpo, and figure out a package there. But they're not going to, because they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they're going to run it back.
Yeah.
But this Thunder team, even if the Celtics right now, and I'm saying healthy as in they have every guy available. I'm not saying 100% healthy, but Jason Tatum is healthy, doesn't have a torn Achilles. This Thunder team would have won this NBA Finals.
You think?
Because they would have gotten to the Finals, and you would have had JT doing it all, that's fine. But Jaylen Brown with a partially torn meniscus, Drew Holiday dealing with the hamstrings, Kristaps Porzingis, I don't think he would have ever gotten back to where he can just have energy levels, the simplicity of it. This Thunder team was built to make it to the Finals. Now, when we were talking, I'll hold my banner, I took the Celtics in 6 in the NBA Finals against the Thunder.
Them.
That was before the NBA season even tipped off.
Right.
Watching how the playoffs are now, this Thunder team is special. They're healthy. They're deep. They have the superstar in SGA. They have the number 2 in Jalen Williams. And they got a deep, deep bench. A bunch of ball handlers can shoot and can defend, can do it all. I think they would have beat the Celtics in 6 with the injuries the Celtics are dealing with. No one's 100%, but the Celtics team, to go back-to-back is so difficult. I think the Thunder team, they're going to win this NBA Finals, and they have a legitimate chance, a very good chance to repeat next year, but it's because of the landscape of the NBA. How it looks across the board. The only thing that could stop them, maybe the Spurs and Wemby in the West. We'll see what the Timberwolves do after they get eliminated by the Thunder. But this OKC team is special, and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're so good. You're right. If I'm some of those other teams you just named, even a Houston Rockets comes to mind. You better go get Giannis. You better get someone
that can
help you get over the hump, because if you don't, the Thunder will beat you. I also realized in hearing you talk where you said, hey, I think this team would have beat the Celtics in 6 or 7 games anyways with the ailments going on with the Celtics. It helped me realize this was growth for me, George. I am a Thunder hater. I am.
Really?
Because I bet against them for years, ever since they have been good.
Yes.
Going back to last season, really. That's when they were the 1 seed, really. It's not like 10 years here.
Yeah.
It's a small sample size. But I have bet against them every step of the way because of youth. So even in this finals that you laid out, with Porzingis, with Jaylen Brown's knee, assuming Tatum didn't get hurt, of course, but I would still pick the Celtics because I'd be like, well, the pedigree, the experience, they know how to get it done, this Thunder's team. You know, they're young, they're still trying to figure it out. I would bet against them still, even with all that. Yet here we are again. They haven't done it yet. I don't want to anoint anybody, but I still think this Thunder team right now, they're going to definitely make me stop being a hater if they win this title.
They were young last year, and then they lose to the Mavericks in the playoffs. But they put Luka Doncic and take him to the brink. It's because of Luka Dort, what he can do defensively. How much deeper they got by adding an Alex Caruso, a great 3-and-D and a veteran player. SGA drives everything. He's the most special basketball player in the NBA right now. He controls the game. You could have your opinions on it, the foul baiting, the not, whatever that may be.
Do you like him? Do you like his game?
I love SGA,
Okay.
love his game, but
All
yeah,
right.
he has that superstar whistle, which I hate, and to a point it takes away from it. But when you watch his team play, anyone can bring the ball up the floor. Anyone can shoot pretty much for the most part, and everyone can defend. That is championship basketball now, and they have multiple offensive options. The Timberwolves went out and added to Julius Randle. They need a better number 2 option than that, especially when Ant's only taking 13 shots.
We always appreciate you rolling with us. And remember, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics right here every weekday morning on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on NESN and 9 a.m. on NESN Nation. That's every Monday through Friday. Here we go, NESN Nation. Boston has entered the chat. Doesn't it feel so good? Travis Thomas here with George Balekji, my main man. Oh, I see. I like that right there. Oh, you about your business.
I'm in the lab, baby.
I like that. You about your business. Hey, George and Trav coming at you. You know we got you held down. The health of Jaylen Brown's knee is still very much in question. We'll try. We're not doctors. We just play them here on Boston Has Entered the Chat.
You know that. I got a doctor.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. I'm more like Dr. Dre than an actual doctor. That's another topic for another show.
I know your medicine for recovery.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah, facts. And don't forget, Boston Has Entered the Chat daily, 8 a.m. on NESN, 9 a.m. on NESN Nation. George, before we get into the topics at hand, I believe is still in a fantasy football draft that has lasted, I think, since 1981. What's going on here?
The draft started Saturday. It is now Tuesday. And we only got through 2.5 rounds yesterday. I think I'm picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should pick within this next hour of the show. I should be picking.
You should pick within the next hour?
I should be picking within the next hour. It's moving at a good pace. Guys have stepped up.
That's a good pace?
Last night's happening was unacceptable on all accounts in any fantasy league. But our guy Shime, he's learned his lesson.
If you would like to maybe be a part of an intervention for George, email us, thechat@nesn.com. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag NESNChat or hashtag HelpGeorge. You can also call us 617-790-0928. We always play your voicemails here. Okay, if you could table your fantasy draft here. Should Celtics fans be worried that Jaylen Brown has not tended to this knee yet? So this is all coming from an article, Celtics blog. We want to give them credit here. This is a quote from Jaylen Brown I want to read to you. Right now, I'm decompressing emotionally, and then in a week or so, I'll pick up the pieces. I'll see what direction there is for myself, my health, and the organization. Whatever the outcome is, I'm excited. Boy, does that feel really vague and really cryptic, or am I reading too much into it?
I think that this is a Jaylen Brown. Everything he does is calculated. He doesn't just go into the first surgery, first opinion of a surgeon he sees, probably fielding the Celtics' opinion on this too. And what this offseason could hold, he's also thinking of why rush into anything? Let me rehab it now, then maybe do surgery. Maybe it's a straight rehab. He's playing every avenue. Here's the thing. If he ends up getting a surgery, it's a 6-month recovery. Gets a surgery now, that lines him up for a return December, January, let's say, if everything goes as planned and his schedule. Okay, so you're going to return in January, right before the NBA trade deadline, with no Jason Tatum, possibly no Drew Holiday on the roster. He likely gets moved this offseason.
Maybe Porzingis.
Kristaps Porzingis about to be shipped out at that point. And who knows what else and who is around. Why rush into anything? Make sure you go to the right surgeon, make sure you choose the right course of recovery, and go from there, because it is a long game. And I think the conversations happening, too, are not just with Jason Tatum, because he could return, essentially, for the next postseason. He could. 8-month recovery timeline would put him that he would make it back for next year's playoffs. But why rush him back from this type of injury? Save it for the following season. So the same thing with Jaylen Brown. Why rush the recovery? Why rush the return? Because whether Celtics fans want to admit it or not, next season will be a loss. It will be by the Celtics standards.
Sure.
But if Jaylen Brown does everything he can and makes the right steps, right surgeon, right recovery, right rehab, whatever it may be, him and Jason Tatum will be back, not for this season and postseason upcoming, the season after that. And that's when we see this window of the Thunder. We see this window right now, same thing for the Knicks. The window for the Pacers. They're about to have to pay Miles Turner. That's when we see these windows blow up and then the window open up again for the Celtics.
Man, everything you said makes sense, and I'm following it. But I think I almost feel like the fans, a certain subset of fans here, where just get the surgery already should have been done. Get it done, recover, get healthy, and let's go next year. I don't like, and even in his quote, which I read, in a week or so, I'll pick up the pieces, see what direction for myself, my health, and the organization. That's the one that jumped out to me because I think it speaks to what you're saying, where, hey, let's all sit down in a room, kumbaya style. What are we doing next year? Are we tanking? Are we going for, are we trying to win a title? Because realistically, with all the moves you said, let's take Drew Holiday out. Let's take Kristaps Porzingis and put him on a different team. We know Tatum won't be healthy till conceivably the playoffs, but let's take him out, too, of the equation. Can Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and whoevs get to the playoffs? I think the answer is yes. I don't think you're a top seed in the East. Are you a 6? Are you a 5? Maybe. But I think this is a playoff team as constructed without all those stars, okay? So that needs to be in the conversation. I would think, not to sound like Herm Edwards here, but you play to win the game, right?
Yes.
I don't really see Brad Stevens and the Brain Trust, especially a new owner, tanking right out of the gate.
Yes.
Like, I just don't see it. If that's the case, hold the surgery to whenever you want. But I'm like, just get healthy and come back. If I'm Jaylen Brown, too, some of me has to think this is my opportunity to show for a large sample size that I'm the man. Now, that doesn't mean that I want to go to Team X and be the man, but I can show right here where I love.
Boston.
I'm the man in Boston, and I can prove it because my guy is out, okay?
Yes.
So I that's why I say it's cryptic. I don't love this quote. I don't love this mentality. I think it's the wrong decision. I think you either know already what the organization wants to do as it pertains to next year, and then you say, I'm in no rush, I'm taking my time. That means you already had the conversation, but that's not what I'm getting here. I'm getting, this is for me. This is what's, I need to emotionally decompress. This is what's for Jaylen Brown. I don't love that. I just think as we get closer to this, because right now we have a champion to crown, a new one. But as we get through the offseason, we get closer to next season, I don't have a good feeling, George. I am starting to feel like Jaylen Brown and the team may be on different pages. It hasn't presented itself yet.
Yeah.
But what I see from this is Jaylen Brown's on his page, and he's not worried about anything else. I don't love that. I don't think it bodes well.
He did. He was at a promotion signing shoes, his 741 brand.
Yeah.
Actually, really comfortable shoes, by the way. Look funky, but really comfy. But he did say when he was asked, a quote about it, and he was like, basically, Boston's home. I've been here 10 years of my life. You should expect for me to come out and leave my heart on the floor every single night next year. That was him talking not just about the team, but the connections he's made in the community. And I think that's big for a guy that's from Atlanta, went to school in California, and literally grew from a young kid, coming out the league into, 19 years old when he was drafted? Exactly, into a man where he's about to be 28, 29, 30 years old, and is still under contract. I don't think he takes lightly that an NBA franchise invested a supermax into him and is paying him what he is. I think he is matching the commitment to that franchise that they gave him. I mean, that's what we saw happen. He got the supermax, came out a better player, came out NBA Finals MVP, came out better all around, a better defender, higher competitor, and was doing that, playing through a partially torn meniscus. How many guys would have shut it down at that point? Because he could have thought the same thing. And especially after Jason Tatum goes down.
Right.
Yes, there was 2 games left, but at that point, he could have said, look, Tatum's down, my knee, why hurt myself anymore and go through all this? What Jaylen Brown is doing well is his commitment to the city and the franchise. And I don't think that's going back at all. Again, I just go back to he's always been calculated with everything he's done. Why do you think he branched out and went with his own shoe deal? And not just any own shoe deal, like going to a company that exists. 741 is something that he created himself. I think that's what he does every step of his life, and I just think it's more on par for the course. And again, he gets a surgery now. It's end of May. That gets him in for December. Yeah. He gets a surgery 2 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. Okay, that's a January, February return. Same timeline, mid-season. That'd be right before the NBA trade deadline. But I think this is a guy that knows how much his athleticism means to his game, understands the ramifications of the injury he suffered, and wants to come out with the best possible outcome. It's not just his return this season, it's his long-term return. Because, cool, he got a supermax. He wants to get another deal after that.
Man, brother's getting paid.
Yeah.
You get another deal after that?
It's good money if you can make it.
Oh, my God. Hey, but wait, there's more in the news of Celtics will drive you to drinking. Did you see the Mark Stein report? So I think we have the tweet of this. He says that the Mavs are not only interested in Drew Holiday, but look at this, Lonzo Ball, Chris Paul. So the Mavericks, as we know, trade away Luka, I'm still like, why'd you do that? But they're trying to win now. They're going to take Cooper Flagg. We know that. Hey, bro, they're trying to get a point guard to lead this thing. And out of these names, I like Lonzo Ball. He gets hurt when the wind blows.
Yeah.
I like Chris Paul. He's 156 years old. Drew Holiday feels like one hell of a fit for the Dallas Mavericks, a team that just needs a floor general.
Needs a defender.
Needs a defender. They have veteran players, but they also will have that infusion of a really good rookie, we think, in Cooper Flagg. I mean, the Mavericks, it feels like Drew Holiday's the perfect fit for them.
This is also a team that will be without Kyrie Irving because of him tearing his ACL
injury
as well.
That's right.
And this would be a reunion, Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, going back to the New Orleans days. This would be an intricate move to make, though, because Drew Holiday comes with a $30 million price tag. The Celtics have to figure out the deal in return and the money in return. And I think a third team has to get involved into this.
Mavericks don't have anything left.
And I think it would be a move where you would not just see a Drew Holiday's gone, but a Sam Hauser as well, and possibly another player after that. Now, Baylor Shireman, the moment he was drafted, that was his Sam Hauser replacement. So can he step into that role? And I do think Sam Hauser has been underwhelming since he got that contract. That's a guy that's supposed to come out, be the microwave, be a consistent three-point shooter. Injuries aside, he hasn't been that dude. But I think if you ship a Drew Holiday to Dallas, which makes sense for everything.
It does.
You get a P.J. Washington in return. Maybe you get a Dwight Powell who's on an expiring deal. Yeah. But you still have to send out a Sam Hauser, maybe a Kristaps Porzingis, let's say to the Brooklyn Nets, because they got all the space in the world.
Yeah.
They have to be willing to take that on. And for the Celtics, maybe they throw in a future first-round pick. I think that's what makes this happen. It makes sense for the Mavericks. They, Nico Harrison, it's defense wins championships.
They're trying to win now.
That's why he traded Luka. It's the window now.
Yeah.
It's drafting Cooper Flagg, who gets it done both ends of the floor right away. But it's putting a Drew Holiday to run an offense, be a defensive stopper, and a veteran to help out with an Anthony Davis who's won a ring. Drew has two. Put those guys around a Cooper Flagg. That's a long-term success. But it's not as simple as Drew to Dallas, someone in return to Boston.
Yes.
And that's it. No, again, with the second apron, all the money involved, it's a really intricate equation they have to figure out.
I hated the players you named that the Celtics would get back.
P.J. Washington would be a good ad.
But I understand doing business.
He's a defender. He's a long wing.
Plays hard. He's tough.
Plays hard and can shoot.
But Drew, man,
Drew Holiday has to go at his age.
Yeah.
He's about to be 34. Exactly. It's unsustainable how far over the second apron the Celtics are.
Yeah.
Because when that comes down to is all of a sudden what the term is that draft picks get frozen. What that means is no matter where you're picking, you get pushed back to the end of the first round.
That's right.
And it's the repeater tax. Yes, you're right. New ownership. Bill Chisholm will want to come in. They got some Magum from India, one of the biggest steel industry people as well, who's the number 2 guy now with the Celtics. That's a lot of money coming in.
Yeah.
Those are businessmen.
Sure.
They understand checks and balances.
Yeah,
That's
do.
what it's all about for them. A Drew Holiday doesn't make sense for the timeline of the team, especially.
Yeah.
I love Drew Holiday.
I do too.
I think he's a future Hall of Famer.
Me too.
But his run has come and gone in Boston. Unless he would do something so selfless, I don't think he stays with the Celtics come the start of next season.
You bring up the ownership group, too, and you make a good point of, in a weird, sick, twisted way, with Tatum's injury, Brown, it's question mark of, hey, when's the surgery going to happen? This ownership has an opportunity to make their own imprint now.
Yeah.
And some of these bills that are due, Drew Holiday and others, they're like, hey, this team won a title, great job. Now we want to construct it based on what we want, how we want this to look. Yeah. We will build around Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just like yesteryear, but the pieces around them, the ancillary pieces, if you will be different because we have a different vision. And maybe, just maybe, we get away from live and die by the three-pointer. Maybe with the new construction of this team, George, maybe it's a more balanced attack offensively and defensively. It's not so much perimeter. I'm okay with that too. But the question is, how do we get there? Yeah. What's that path going to look like? That's where my mind goes when you bring up, and I know we're just, throwing names around, but a P.J. Washington's he doesn't really fit in the system, but maybe the system's different.
Yeah.
Hell, maybe the head coach is different.
I mean, the head coach is going anywhere.
Bro, I don't think so yet.
Yeah.
I don't think so yet.
And next season's going to be a pass as well. That's a whole nother conversation I'm excited we'll get into because you've got a long offseason ahead. But that's where this team's going to look completely different. And it's going to be more than one step. It's the same way Brad Stevens built up this contender.
Yes.
It was one trade where it was supposed to be Marcus Smart, end up being Malcolm Brogdon.
That's right.
And you get someone in return. And everyone's going, wait, so Malcolm Brogdon's going to be the point guard? That doesn't make sense. It was, hey, wait and see.
He was wait and see.
It's going to be one trade. It's going to be a Drew Holiday and maybe a Sam Hauser again. And we may not see it in October, November, or December. It could be something that happens on February again. Gets them below the tax, gets some draft picks, gives them this soft rebuild. But at the end of the day, they have the pillars. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. That's what every NBA team wants.
Coming up, George and I re-enter the drama of Chapel Bill and Jordon Hudson. We can't get enough. Remember, get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston sports headlines, along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every weekday on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us, 8 a.m. on NESN, 9 a.m. on NESN Nation, every Monday through Friday. Welcome back to Boston Has Entered the Chat. Travis Thomas here with George Balekji. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I started my broadcasting career, I mean, Bill Belichick was cooking. And I thought, man, how cool is this? I get to cover Bill Belichick in my career.
Not as fun as it sounds.
Never thought. If you had told young Trav then, hey, man, you're going to be talking about his love life. I mean, George, I don't even know how to intro this. I thought, and it was dumb of me to think this, I thought maybe we were done with this.
Yep.
I thought we had moved on. There have been statements from UNC, interviews with Bill, Jordon Hudson's like, we're cool. I lost and Miss Maine, but we're still cool. Here we are again, George.
Look, man, I just got to say from the start when this happened, I, like anyone else, was grossed out by the whole thing. Like, it's absolutely just wrong. It's nasty. But, hey, you know what? End of the day, what makes you happy? That's what I was looking at it. He's happy. She's happy. I think they're both happy. Let them be happy.
Let them be.
Let it be. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
But they want to keep entering the public again. More importantly, one person does. That's what keeps bringing it up. So we know the amazing work that Pablo Torre has been doing on his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out.
Yeah.
Literally tracking down her first appearance ever in Gillette Stadium.
He found
down
out.
to the seat.
Right.
Figuring out when they first started dating, what her age was, going behind the scenes on her trying to pull stuff on commercial shoots. She's getting banned from UNC. Okay, cool.
Jeez.
We all know what the inception of Belichick being a bachelor was.
Oh, the walk of shame.
It was that video in Winthrop on the Ring camera. So that's the latest. Let's start there. This is what Pablo Torre dug up on his latest episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out. Check it out right here.
Oh, my Lord.
Please narrate what you're seeing.
Well, I'm seeing Bill Belichick topless coming out of maybe a screen door. I'm not sure. On like a Ring camera. He's maybe on the back porch. It looks like, is this a walk of shame?
What's he doing there?
All good questions.
Yeah. Do we have any answers coming?
Well, what happened with this video is that there have been a flood of questions.
Right.
But nobody has ever determined the truth of where this video comes from.
Until?
When it was taped. If there are other videos out there.
Until? Now.
Until now.
Oh, damn.
Because here exclusively for the first time is the other video.
Oh, my God. Oh.
He has a satchel.
Yeah, it's got a little Merce.
A work bag, right?
He is very shirtless.
He's going to
He has like a leather
It is a hide
satchel.
key, isn't it?
Okay, so he's still topless. Absolutely yum delish.
Great. A bag with a leather strap that he's clearly not figured out how to tighten because it's looped in a way you definitely wouldn't be choosing. And a hydro flask.
He's holding one of those steel
metal flasks you put water in, then he puts it down by the wheel well.
Travis, not once, twice, the shirtless walk of shame from Bill Belichick.
Second time he had the satchel.
What is that? Now, the first video reportedly, allegedly, was from June of 2023. So that's right in the time of OTAs.
Right.
And that's a satchel you've seen on Bill Belichick's shoulder.
Yeah.
He's at Pro Days for Alabama, whatever.
Where's his shirt, dog?
I don't know.
Like,
you're staying at your booze place. Why do you not have a shirt
your
twice?
shirt?
Right? Why are you showing all that off? Why you look so disheveled? You're the greatest head coach of all time, and you're doing a walk of shame with your own thing. Hey, if you end up, everyone's been there. Everyone's been there. Better or worse, no judgment. No judgment.
Man, I invented the walk of shame. You hear me?
But you know
I had a shirt on, though.
Exactly. I always had it, and I was not 77 million years old when I was doing it. It's ripe age, prime college years, 20-something.
It was appropriate for you to do it at that time.
And I still had a shirt on. What I am mind-boggled by is Bill Belichick doing that. It coming out, Pablo Torre's investigation. But again, this would be live and let live, live and let be. But then Jordon Hudson decides to tweet at Airbnb and decides to post on her Instagram story. And that's where it goes of, look, you are dating the greatest football coach of all time. Just let it be. You're in the public eye. Here's her tweet at Airbnb. Hey, Airbnb. Quick question. How do you feel about Airbnb owners publicly distributing security footage and information about tenants / their
She
stay?
is angry.
Now, Pablo Torre, again, dude, he went in on this one, met the owners, and they basically said, we saw the video, couldn't believe it. They sent it to their friends of, is this Bill Belichick? And they said, yeah. But once you send it to a friend, you know the video's gone.
Yeah, of course.
Their regret was they didn't make money off of it. And it was the same thing with the second video, probably. Just, look, for the girl that enters a Miss Maine pageant with the last name Hancock to represent her small fisher town, great, stand up for the fisherman and the fisherwoman. Stand up for small businesses. You're trying to step on a small Airbnb owner at this time too. Just let it
go. She can't let anything
You want everything that comes with being in the public eye, but you won't.
I get it. But damn, Bill,
I get the
why you don't have no
frustration,
shirt on,
right?
dog? Like, okay, you know what? We can come back to this. I'd rather do this. You have any walk of shame stories you could tell?
I am not sharing.
I got one. It's clean enough for a family program. So, statute of limitations is passed a long time ago. In Baltimore, right?
Of course.
Of course. Me and my boy were at a house party for this girl he likes. Okay, cool. We end up spending the night having a good time, right? Next morning, he comes out of her room. He is angry. I don't know what transpired. They got in an argument. She's angry. He's angry. I heard kind of like arguing. He comes out. He's like, we got to leave. I'm like, damn, man, I had fun. He's like, we got to go. Grab your stuff. So much like Bill, I wasn't prepared. But I found a shirt, Bill. But I might have been missing a shoe. But, George, you know me, right? I said, I'm leaving with something. I went in the freezer. Statute of limitations. I went in the freezer.
Going Denzel.
Anything in here? I'm leaving with something. Anything? Oh, a couple steaks. Whop! Grabbed them.
Smart.
Rolled out. I'm leaving with something.
What was it cut? New York strip?
I don't know. I was too
but
drunk.
It was free
I was still drunk too. That's the other thing about a true walk of shame. Maybe that's why he wasn't wearing a shirt. Maybe.
Where's the shirt?
I don't know.
What are you doing when you roll up to Gillette? Like, do you just walk into your office
in his car?
shirtless?
Is he one of the? You know how some?
Oh, I know where the shirt is. I wish I didn't ask the question.
Where? Don't tell me. At the office?
No.
Where?
It's being worn by someone else.
Oh.
Yes.
Then what's he wearing? He's got to have a backup shirt.
He definitely has something in the car, but also, like, he rolls up to the equipment manager and it's Belichick, no question. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Brother, why are you holing up in some small Airbnb in Winthrop? You're making $20 million a year.
Take her to your palace.
You're pissed about the Airbnb camera getting leaked? You got so much money, you could buy that whole town.
Catch a chopper to Nantucket.
Exactly. You got a whole damn compound on that island. This dude is out perusing and tomfoolering the night before training camp.
What'd you say, tomfoolering?
Tomfoolering.
Do you think she has a whole closet of cut-off hoodies?
Yes, 1,000%. It's terrible. Disgusting.
She gonna be auctioning them off in about.
It checks out. Okay, so
18 months.
2021 is Mac Jones' rookie year. Josh McDaniels, offensive coordinator.
Right.
2022 is the Matt Patricia failed experiment. Now she entered the ether of this world in 2021.
Okay.
First spotted Gillette Stadium, November 2021.
All right.
2022 is Matt Patricia, Joe Judge.
Yeah.
2023 is the Bill O'Brien set up for failure offensive coordinator offseason.
Right.
No wonder Bill O'Brien failed and that offense failed epically because this guy cared more about being in Winthrop the night before than actually coaching the football team and doing what's best for its success.
You know what you call that, Bill? A distraction.
And Bill Belichick,
not doing your job.
And he still tries to say he wasn't fired. Bro, you were fired.
He was fired.
The main thing wasn't the main thing anymore. And the main thing ain't the main thing at UNC either.
You ain't got no clean walk of shame stories, bro?
I'm not sharing any. I'm good, brother. I am good.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Yeah.
The walk was so long because we didn't drive. It was
you did the whole walk of shame.
That's what I'm telling you. This is the greatest story I have. The walk was so long from her spot to ours that the steaks I grabbed from the freezer
We're thawed.
and leaking.
He had steak and eggs for breakfast.
I had to make it immediately.
Hey, it's not bad. What also was amazing, too, for the length that Pablo Torre went to get these videos, he had a German geotagger help him locate the Airbnb.
Say what now?
You ever see it on like Instagram, like people, you see a random image, and within 5 seconds they're like, oh, this is in the Maldives, and they find it?
No, I don't.
He had
That's
a team
a thing?
of elite geotaggers. The guy was German. Can you imagine sending the image or the video?
Like, find this.
To some German guy. Here's a video of Bill Belichick. Here are the houses. Here's it. And he goes, I will find this. Give me 2 weeks. I will find your location. No problem. And then he ends up saying it to him. He goes, Winthrop, Massachusetts. Who is this man?
Where's his shirt?
Can we find him shirt? I don't find shirt.
Bill, man, we are clowning you on TV, and we love you, Bill. We're not trying to do this, but damn, what are we supposed to do?
You deserve to, dude, take away her Twitter. Take away the social media.
Who's doing that?
Not
he ain't
Bill.
doing that.
The wool is so far over his eyes. Yeah, it is just...
Not from a shirt.
The disappointment.
Not that wool.
The disappointment I feel for that man. The sadness I feel for the family.
His kids.
As this stuff comes out, yes.
His kids.
Literally just the legacy built up for 50 years of coaching football. Just you're blowing it all up in one instance. And what she's taking is also, we know the inheritance, and they're not happy with that either. By all accounts. Look, just invest in places in Dorchester and flip them. Stop worrying about Pablo Torre. Stop worrying about Airbnb. The rest of us will enjoy it and laugh. End of the day, you're having the last laugh because you got multiple commas in your bank account. You can go anywhere you want in the world. Stop. It's so weird.
I'm still confused, like going back to the genesis of this, how someone's so controlling. Because Bill Belichick's a control freak. It's a gift and a curse. I mean, none of us, speaking as one, none of us look as being controlling as a great thing. At times it is, but you have to learn how to balance it. But this guy's a control freak, and that's how he's built this GOAT resume. Well, damn. I mean, at this stage of your life, are you that let go and loosey-goosey where you're completely different? Your personality has changed? It's just so weird to me how you go from control freak your entire life, seemingly. I mean, he's been a coach forever. It's in his blood. He comes from that. Coaches are control freaks, okay? That's not breaking news here. To all the way now, you don't care anymore, and whatever happens, happens, and you just, oh, that's just Jordan. Like, this guy has completely flipped his personality, and you never see that happen. That's not a normal thing.
Dude, if one of his assistant coaches was doing this, he'd be fired.
Of course he would.
He would have been bullied into a corner so far in the Foxborough facilities that man would have quit 1 hour into it.
Yes.
But he's allowing this to happen. This is what he was doing while he was the head coach of the most valuable football franchise this decade. He was allowing this to happen. And he's continuing to allow it to happen. That's what's mind-boggling. The guy that's made his entire existence based off, I don't care what other people think, his partner he chose, which is fine. You're happy, she's happy, you both be happy. I do not care. As long as you're happy and you're not actually inflicting any harm on one another or people around you. Go exist. But the person that you are choosing to spend the rest of your life with, they care about what other people think. You always said, do your job. That job is flipping houses in Dorchester. It's not tweeting at Pablo Torre and texting Airbnb owners and trying to call them out on Instagram. The hypocrisy is mind-boggling.
It really is.
The hypocrisy is mind-boggling.
All right, we're going to take our shirts off and walk off the segment for a walk of shame. We'll have more. Boston has entered the chat next. Don't go anywhere. Shirts off. Roll with us.
Never seen a button I didn't like.
Hey, facts. Save the date, too. The WEEI NESN Jimmy Fund Radio Telethon presented by Arbella Insurance is on August 18th and 19th. Help strike out cancer by visiting jimmyfund.gives/kcancer to donate today.